There is a strong consensus that science can explain the vast majority of real-life events, but there are many facets of our existence that science cannot explain. The idea of love is the most well-known of these. When Ayame Himuro openly admits her love for Shinya Yukimura, this bold pair of smart Saitama University scientists decide to take on the challenge. They conduct experiments on each other to test their love. Can Ayame and Shinya successfully use scientific principles along with help from their friends to measure the emotions they feel for one another? Let's find out. It's just another day at Saitama University, and Ayame and her fellow scientist Shinya go on about their daily bantering. This is when Ayame nonchalantly confesses that according to her observation, she is in love with Shinya. Shinya isn't sure how to respond, but he doesn't outwardly reject her either. Being a scientist, he demands evidence that supports her conclusion. Ayame, being the nerd she is, produces a well-estimated pie chart that displays Shinya's impact on her. Another mathematical evidence is how her heart rate increases the longer she looks at him. Not surprisingly, they conclude that love is just a mathematical formula. They try reenacting romantic manga scenes and tracking their heartbeats. Meanwhile, Kanade Kotonoha, a colleague, fears they may have just gone insane. Kotonoha and her advisor Ina try to help their love-struck fellow scientists. Ina suggests that their experiments lack a control variable if they just test Ayan's effect on Shinya's heartbeat, so they all stroke Shinya's hair to see his reaction. Shockingly, his heartbeat rises for all of them, which makes Ayame a bit jealous. They conclude that either he is a pervert or gets extremely nervous around women due to his lack of experience. The next experiment involves cooking to see if love enhances the flavor of the food. Shinya undertakes a blind taste test of a dish made by Ayame that is decorated with hearts and a generic dish made by Kotonoha. Shinya complains that Ayame's love letter on the dish disrupts the experiment but agrees that her dish was the best. Shinya and Ayame decide to interview any person who is in love. They ask Kosuke, a classmate, whether he is in love and whether he has a certain number for how he can prove it. Kosuke explains that he lavishes money on the woman he loves and holds her every day. Ayame concludes that she is not in love with Shinya, if those are the numbers she has to compare herself to. After finding out Kosuke's lover is a virtual character, they consider Kosuke's stats to be too weird to be compared to. Later, Ayame reveals that she used to be bullied as a kid, but a nerdy boy saved her. Kotonoha realizes the boy was Shinya, and they both are equally clueless. On Kotonoha's insistence, Shinya asks Ayame out on a date to an amusement park. Ayame and Shinya meticulously prepare for their date but scare away the public when they show up wearing lab coats. Kotonoha and Kosuke help dress them up to look normal, and Shinya is captivated by Ayame's new look. While Kotonoha and Kosuke collect quantifiable data, the other two use a number tracker on their phones to count the instances they experience a romantic emotion. During their date, a stranger approaches Ayame and confesses. This frustrates Shinya, who shows off the data he has gathered but still can't prove if he is in love or not. Ayame finds this really attractive and they both leave holding hands. The rest of the date goes normally, and Shinya even gives her earrings, which was not part of the plan. Everyone gathers in the lab for a meeting to discuss their research results with their professor Ikeda. Everyone becomes flustered as Shinya and Ayame deliver their statistics on love. Ikeda finds their love research more intriguing, which might even develop into a significant research study on the science of love. In order to obtain repeating values of their tests, they need a larger group of romantic couples to compare the result to. The professor announces that everyone will participate in the identical experiments Shinya and Ayame have done and do them in pairs with each lab member. When Shinya and Kotonoha are partnered, Ayame realizes that she can't record the data because she unintentionally interrupts it out of jealousy. Much to Ina's amusement, Shinya and Kosuke have been paired together for the experiment. Kosuke and Shinya regrettably learn that they both get flustered when they are close. Out of nowhere, Ina suggests Ayame and Shinya should kiss as part of the experiment. Although preparations are made for the kiss experiment, Ayame doesn't want their first kiss to happen as part of a test subject. Kotonoha agrees with her and plans for the kiss to take place under correct circumstances, like rooftop, sun setting, dim lights, etc. They decided that they require a comfortable, private setting with no other individuals present and 30 seconds of eye contact. The university roof at sunset was selected as the best location after extensive research. It is decided that as a control experiment, kissing should take place between other members first. Instead of kissing Kotonoha, Shinya kisses her hand. Ayame gets a kiss from Ina, making Shinya envious. Kosuke kisses Ayame's hand, and Ayame kisses Kotonoha's head. Basically, all kisses are platonic, and then finally it is Ayame and Shinya's turn. Sadly, just when the mood is right for Ayame and Shinya to have their first kiss, a helicopter starts buzzing overhead, the sun sets before they can prepare, and the janitor wants to shut the roof entrance, ruining the romantic moment. Ayam requests that they kiss regardless of their mood. However, Shinya simply kisses her hair and promises to give her a kiss one day that will have the highest value for their experiment. To celebrate the completion of the semester, the lab members host a party and participate in their customary prime number recitation game. Ayam explains the scientific importance of prime numbers to Kotonoha, who has never studied them before. Eventually, Ayam gets drunk and exhibits extremely clinging behavior with Shinya, while Kosuke oddly exhibits the same behavior toward Ina. Meanwhile, Professor Aikida passes out. Intoxicated Kotonoha berates Shinya and Ayam for still not acting like a regular couple. She also acknowledges that a high school incident motivated her to make every effort to blend in and appear normal. Next day, now that the kiss experiment has failed, they decide to gather love data from fairy tales like Cinderella and the tale of the bamboo cutter. Kosuke has made little progress on his studies and is utterly depressed with much less than few weeks until the training camp. Aikida advises Kozu to find science in his day-to-day activities, such as a dating sim. When Kabanova asks Shinya for help on her presentation, he criticizes her to correct it and memorize every sentence. She finds it unbelievable that Ayam found him attractive to begin with, judging his personality. Shinya then demands Kotonova's saliva. Ayam discloses that this is to measure the hormone known as the love hormone oxytocin, which is released when one is in physical contact with a loved one. They believe they will be able to precisely determine the person someone is in love with. They agree that a 1-minute hug will be plenty for physical contact to measure oxytocin, but after just a few seconds, both of them feel overwhelmed. The oxytocin research conducted by Shinya will be presented at the training camp. When Erika Yamamoto, an old trainee of Professor Aikida, shows up at the lab, she shows interest in Ayam and Shinya. She explains that she's a novice manga artist and requests authorization to adapt their story into a manga series. In order to get information about people's romantic relationships, they agree. Aikida extends an invitation to Erika to the training. When Erika gets excited thinking about all the erotic pictures she can draw, Ayam and Shinya regret giving her permission. It's time to leave for training camp, and both Ayam and Shinya are overloaded with luggage. The lab staff is in awe of the views of the luxurious hotel when they arrive. In order for everyone to have a comfortable place to stay, Erika admits she paid for the hotel. However, Anna warns everyone that Erika will do everything for her manga, and she probably wants to catch Shinya and Ayam in a romantic situation. To carry out additional physical contact studies, Shinya and Ayam retreat behind a rocky outcrop. With the others, Shinya gets into a debate over which position of hugging provides the most skin contact. Due to the lack of breasts to establish a distance, Erika and Ina discover that when two guys hug, there is a maximum amount of close contact. Therefore, Kosuke and Shinya are under pressure from Ina and Erika to hug. When Ina is by herself, a gang of boys corner her and start flirting with her. Kozu then walks over and punches the boy, touching her before discovering they were all simply playing games on their phones. Ina humiliates Kosu for overreacting, but is secretly relieved. In the end, to add to Kotonoha and Kosu's already bottled-up anxiety, they are informed by Professor Akita that their presentations will take place in front of the most renowned geniuses and scientists. Late at night, Shinya shows up at Ayam and Kotonoha's room. Ayam assumes he is there for some experiment related to physical contact, but it turns out he only wanted to nag Kotonoha about her presentation more. Senior scientists severely critique the research of the young presenters on the day of the presentation. Kotonoha regrets her turn as the next presenter and is replaced by Kosuke. Kosuke fiercely defends his study while it is dissected by the more experienced scientists, and his classmates look up to him for it. In the end, the scientists agree that his study does hold some value. Before Kotonoha is supposed to present, Shinya gives her a hug, startling her enough for her to strike him. Ayam catches a glimpse of the hug and confronts Shinya about it after the end of the presentation. Kotonoha, meanwhile, presents her research using the ideal amusement park date between Ayam and Shinya as the foundation. She is able to answer all of the professor's inquiries and manages to eventually impress them. Ayam becomes upset with Shinya. Ayam is reprimanded by Shinya for feeling envious when they aren't even dating. Shinya refuses to feel guilty for doing what he did. Ayam slaps him before leaving in tears. At an aquarium, everyone tries to unwind, but Ayam and Shinya ruin it. Ayam inquires as to Shinya's knowledge of her reasons for being unhappy. Shinya justifies her rage with scientific justifications, such as her menstrual cycle, and then gets punched once again. Shinya is upset because the aquarium would have been the perfect place for a high-value kiss. Ayam confesses to Kotonoha that she feels guilty for acting passionately rather than rationally. Ayam confides in Kotonoha that she was most affected by Shinya's statement that they aren't dating. Kotonoha reassures her that some jealousy is normal when in love. However, instead of telling Shinya about it because they are on bad terms, Ayam adds a jealousy variable to their research. In the end, they both decide to make up with each other. When Himuro does not enter their room after a long while, Kotonoha becomes worried. She goes to Shinya, who is attempting to make amends with I.am. When he learns that she is missing, Kosuke and Kotonoha search the hotel thoroughly for her. Anna tells them that she saw I.am leave the hotel and never come back. It is made clear that Akira is to blame for everything and intends to stand in the way of the reconciliation in order to create more drama for her manga. Shinya pledges to Akira that he would thwart any attempts she makes. I.am's location is finally made known by Akira. I.am is on a bridge when Shinya runs off and finds her. I.am expresses her feelings by hugging Shinya, and then the two of them kiss in front of the sunrise as they had wanted to. The group reunites, and they all head back to the university to carry on their ongoing study of love.